Hey, how's it going? This is the day after the Super Bowl. I thought I'd make a a rant about Super Bowl now and the Super Bowls I grew up watching. Give me a moment here. Yeah, I didn't actually watch the Super Bowl the other day between the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots. None of them were my none of them were my team, but I know a few people that rooted for them ever since I was in school. That was a long time ago. Anyway, I just dropped my boy to school, so I'm heading down Central to get something to eat on my way home. My wife's asleep, snoring away. So I'll stop and get me something to eat. Anyway, speaking of Super Bowls, the Super Bowl now or recently over the last several years, it's not the same. It's not the same game or the same spectacle that it used to be. I mean, it's a bigger spectacle now. I mean, this is how big a spectacle it is. Is before, I mean, like months before the Super Bowl actually is played, all you hear about is, oh, they're getting this person to perform, that person to perform. And I was like, actually, I still am. Who cares? Who's going to the Super Bowl to watch the? If you're going to the Super Bowl or watching the Super Bowl on TV just to watch the halftime, the I'm sorry, I got a cold. The halftime show. I don't know. Something might be wrong with you. Anyway, when I was younger, I used to love watching the Super Bowls. I mean, that was an event. Even if my team wasn't there, I'd pick a team and root for them. Like back in the early 80s when I'm sorry, I'm going to forget the numbers, the Super Bowl number and everything. Coincidentally, the Super Bowl number happens to coincide with my age. So the Super Bowl that just happened the other day, Super Bowl 60, happened several weeks after I just turned 60. Ain't that fun? Fun fact. So when I was 15, they had Super Bowl 15. You know what I'm trying to say, right? So actually, Super Bowl 15. This was back in I think 80 or 81 was when I really started to get into watching the Super Bowls and watching football in general. But that's when I really got into watching professional football. I mean, I'd even watch Canadian football. Actually, back then we never saw Canadian football, or I mean, we rarely saw college football. Back then, the early 80s, we didn't have that many channels on TV. I'm talking about TV, about cable TV. Now that's like, I don't know, a different world. Anyway, I used to love watching Super Bowls every year. I mean, even in my high school, I was at an all boys high school. No fun. I can't stand. by by lunchtime, all of us boys are like, I know. I went to schools with co-ed boys and girls, and I went to high school where it's just boys. I rather go to a school where there's girls because there's something about having girls around that kind of calms the inner savage beast that teenage boys have, if you know what I mean. They're more boys are more behaved when there's girls around. Anyway, yep. So anyway, I think that's pretty much what I'm just trying to say. In review, in my opinion, Super Bowls were so much better back in the 70s, 80s, and even in the early 90s. When the, I hate to say it, but when the Tom Brady era started, I kind of started to lose interest in watching the NFL because I started to watch the games and I'm like, it's almost like I told my cousin, I my cousin would say, "Oh, Tom Brady won 7 Super Bowl championships," and I'm like, "Dude, the defense wasn't allowed to touch him because he was the face of the NFL." I remember. I don't know if you remember that when Tom Brady had that, I think, knee injury at the beginning of a season, and he was out all year. Okay, and then when he came back the following year, I noticed when I would watch the games he started, the defense of the other team was like, you can practically see the defense wasn't allowed to touch him or tackle him. I mean, they were allowed to touch him, like grab him and act like they're trying to tackle him, but they really weren't. I mean, there were games where you see the defense pushing the offensive lineman, and once they got close to Tom Brady to grab him or something, the defensive lineman would stop pushing the offensive lineman, like stop a step or two from tackling Tom Brady. That's when I started to lose interest in the game. Yeah. Yep. Anyway, I'm sorry about that. I had to. I was trying to merge into the other lane, and the cars are like bunching up, like they don't want me to get in their lane. Anyway, the Super Bowls were just different back then when I was going to school. And then, of course, after uh, I mentioned Tom Brady, right? Then when Tom Brady got out of the league, and then it started, I noticed the same thing about the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. When they won their Super Bowls, it's like the defense wasn't allowed to tackle Patrick Mahomes. Anyway, I don't watch football anymore. Kind of lost interest. I haven't really watched consistently in maybe 6, 7 years. Anyway, I'd like to end it by saying, okay, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks. Hope they're enjoying their off season, and maybe I hate to say it, but I don't like to see the same thing. I don't like to see the same teams win year after year after year. That's boring. You want other teams to win. So anyway, congrats to the Seahawks. Hopefully the Patriots have their time again. But I hope my Raiders get good enough to win another title.